parlor. How are y'all doing today? I hope the audio's okay. I went and listened back to the stream yesterday of Don't Starve Without Face, and I was like, oh, my mic was kind of low. So I turned it up a little bit today. I hope it is okay. Hi, Scarlet Orion, and hi, Chad. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Mute Shock. I'm doing well. Super tired. I did 14 hours last night. Oh my gosh. I hope you're okay. Hello, Mega Master. Audio is good. Okay, okay. Oh my goodness. I hope you can get some good rest today. That's a lot of driving. Okay, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and get started with the story time. And then we can chat a little bit after. Okay. Chapter 9, Contract. The Hunters Guild was desolate when they arrived, so quiet that Wes could hear every creak of his shoes against the wooden floorboards. The round tables strewn around the main tavern were empty, save for a few abandoned tankards. Even the attendant's desk was unmanned. "Lively place," Wes said. "Did I miss the party?" Azalea peered around the room cautiously. It was very, busy the last time I was here. Maybe most of the hunters are still facing the surge. He grinned and nudged her shoulder. "Well, would you look at that? You were the fastest." She blushed a little. Not everyone had the second hunter on their team. "The second hunter?" Wes said. "You were dispatched with sea loot?" Azalea nodded eagerly. "You should have seen her, Wes. She was every bit as incredible as the rumors say. She controlled the entire field in the blink of an eye, and her sugar threads are so pretty, like water, and they're all glittery. They look like constellations." His smile widened. "A fairy in the flesh, hmm?" "Even better," Azalea said, glowing. "I'm so grateful to have the chance to learn from her. I started using my winsels and everything, and the extra momentum really... Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk your ear off. We have the guildmaster to see."
"I mean, it's fine," Wes said bashfully. "I like hearing about your experiences."
"So you can learn too?" Wes blinked.
"Well,
I'll be sure to take lots of notes next time," Azalea promised. "We can learn together."
"Well, it's not so much the notes," Wes mumbled, but Azalea was already rapping on the door, sharp and prompt and all business. She just opened her mouth to speak when a woman's clear voice rang through the wood. "Come in, fair one. No need for formalities."
Azalea jumped a little. Then she schooled her features and pushed through the door. Guildmaster Nicolina looked like she hadn't slept in a week. The diminutive woman was hunched over her desk, rich dark curls falling over her face and black bags sinking beneath her eyes. Surges, it appeared, took a heavy toll on her, as Wes would expect of someone tasked with dispatching the hunters, placating nobles and fellow magistrates, and generally keeping Airlie from utter annihilation. He had nothing but the utmost respect for the overworked guildmaster. "How did you know it was me?" Azalea asked, drawing up to the front of the desk. Nicolina snorted.
"Does anyone else in this guild know how to knock?"
Yes?"
That was rhetorical. They absolutely don't.
Nicolina lifted her quill with a flourish and looked up, her steel-gray eyes fixed on Wes.
"So, you've brought company."
"Yes," said Azalea with a quick salute. "I've come to notarize my support contract."
That was fast.
"I knew exactly who I wanted," Azalea said. She looked at Wes and beamed warmly. It was just a matter of getting him to say yes. Color bloomed on Wes's cheeks. He cleared his throat and snapped his feet together.
"Good day, Guildmaster," he said briskly. "I'm Wes, an independent ingeniator who lives on the south side of Mythaven. I'll do my best to assist Azalea on her commissions."
Nicolina's eyes rested heavily on him. She lowered her quill pen, slowly.
"Well," she said softly, "thank you for your service, Wes."
Wes met her gaze evenly.
"My pleasure, Lady Magistrate. Very kind of you to offer your services to the Hunters Guild. We don't get many ingeniators around here. It's the least I could do for the country."
She arched a brow.
"For the country, hmm?"
Wes was silent.
Azalea's eyes shifted between Wes and Nicolina. She scooted forward and gingerly slid a sheet of paper across the desk. The support contract. About the contract, she mumbled. We've already signed it, so all that has to be done is the notary signature and the wax seal.
Thank you, fair one. Your diligence is appreciated.
Nicolina's eyes, sharp and piercing, had not moved from Wes's face. Azalea hesitated. Then, that's it?
Yes. You're dismissed. That was surprisingly simple, Wes said in a measured tone. It's not difficult to become a hero, Nicolina said plainly, but it's difficult to stay one.
Wes's gaze shot to Azalea, but apparently the message had completely gone over her head. She only saluted with a modest smile. I'll do my best, Guildmaster. Good day. She turned and pulled the door open, then hesitated. Her eyes flitted between Wes and Nicolina again. Wes? She prompted. Wes waved a hand.
Go on without me, he said vaguely. I have a question for the Guildmaster.
Azalea frowned lightly, but slid out of the room and shut the door softly behind her. There was a moment of silence, dispersed by the pitch tick of a tiny desk clock. Then Nicolina's mouth twitched up.
You're quick on the uptake. I appreciate that,
she said, leaning back in her chair. Wes wasn't sure how to respond. Surely someone as influential as the Hunter's Guildmaster would know that everyone of noble birth had to be quick on the uptake. A single mistake at the wrong soiree could get oneself killed. Nor had Nicolina been particularly subtle. Even Azalea had noticed that something was off, and she was, well, Zaylee. He settled for something neutral, to the point.
What do you need from me?
He asked plainly. Nicolina tapped a finger against her sleeve. A tick from her desk clock, then talk.
Withdraw,
she said. Wes blinked. Surely he hadn't heard that correctly.
Pardon?
He said uncertainly. Nicolina slid the contract across her desk.
Burn this, and tell Fairone that you no longer desire this position.
Wes scanned her face for any sign of humor, but her gaze was dead even. An ember of anger burned in his gut, and he lifted his chin.
Why? He asked tightly. Because I'm some lowly no-name inventor putting around the outskirts of the city? Because I can't contribute enough to justify the stipend? Or because I'm the son of Lord Roland Jeppet?
Nicolina did not flinch. She continued staring, motionless, more lifeless than any doll he'd ever whittled. Finally, she spoke.
Your lineage isn't consequential here, young Jeppet, for better or for worse.
She laced her fingers together, her tone icy.
I say this not to denounce you, but to warn you. Because I was you.
What are you talking about? Wes said through his teeth.
I was a support once, and in love with my hunter.
Wes's breath stopped in his throat, cold and unmoving. He felt his face flush deep, then turn ashen.
That obvious?
He said weakly. Nicolina's lips pulled upward.
A bit, but aren't we all?
She leaned forward, her gaze soft, yet piercing.
The storms are merciless, Jeppet, she said quietly. They claim everyone in reach, rousing unbeatable monsters, bleeding this land dry.
Her face flattened.
That's why all hunters are destined to die young.
Wes dropped his gaze. His hands gripped together until they turned white and clammy. All hunters are destined to die young.
Do yourself a favor.
Nicolina tapped a finger on the contract.
Walk away from this. Don't get attached.
Die young. He couldn't imagine it. Not Azalea, full of so much promise and life. He couldn't imagine her passing on so soon, laid in a beautiful coffin, surrounded by beautiful flowers. He wouldn't imagine it. He wouldn't even entertain the thought. He would keep her from that fate at all costs.
With all due respect, ma'am, Wes said, lifting his head, that's all the more reason for me to be at Azalea's side. Because as a support, I'll have far more capacity to look after her. I can keep her from that kind of death. No, Nicolina interrupted, her eyes flashing. You'll just be consumed with guilt when you fail to do so. It's dangerous to think that way, Jeppet.
Wes stood sharply, the legs of his chair grinding harshly into the wood.
Then I'll have to prove you wrong, he bit out. I will protect her. No one can keep a hunter from death, Nicolina said flatly. They're dead the moment they choose to join the guild. In that case, Wes said coldly, I guess that puts you in charge of running hell. She arched a brow, unfazed. A job nobody likes. Trust me. Wes gritted his teeth. How could Nicolina hold such a pessimistic outlook while running the guild that kept the city's hopes alive? She was supposed to front its morale and guide its hunters, not try to convince every support that their job was meaningless and tragic. He couldn't understand it. You can burn that contract or feed it to the dogs, he said sharply, but nothing will stop me from supporting Azalea in any way I can. Title or no. Stipend or no. He was not dismissed and it was rude, but he turned to grab the door handle anyway. One last question gave him pause. Supports are largely family members or close friends anyway, he said. Do you have this conversation every time? Would that I had the time, Nicolina said, her tone enigmatic. But no. Then what makes me different? I told you. There was a shuffle of paper, a contract sliding into a drawer, filed for future reference. I was you, Jebbet. This wasn't for fair one's sake. It was for yours. A spot of color caught the corner of Wes's eye, and he turned to look. Hung upon the wall was a single portrait framed in rich oak. Nicolina, face smooth and untroubled, blushing and beaming at the artist, who hurried to capture her light in quick, fluid brushstrokes before it faded entirely. His mouth ran dry. Dismissed, Jebbet, came Nicolina's soft voice behind him. Best of luck. Wes left and shut the door quietly behind him.
In the story.
You too, Lena. Get you some rest. I will. I'm gonna sleep a bunch. Ah. I'm glad to have all the deadlines in now, though. I haven't had a break in a while, so it'll be nice to just, take a sleep. I opened the stream early, got distracted by coding, had my laptop on mute. I didn't realize it started. Oh, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining, Lumina. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's chapter. I saw there's some comments on the Discord. I will love to read them shortly. It's very fun. Very fun to see what people think about the story. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. In terms of oh, what was I gonna say? The new RimWorld expansion came out. I don't know if my usual RimWorld watching crew is here, but I'm not sure if I can implement the new expansion without breaking my file. So I don't know, I feel kind of lost because we're doing the Fire Emblem one, and then suddenly they're like, "Hey, we're gonna have a big expansion," and I'm like, "Oh, well, cool, but do we just play the outdated campaign?" I mean, to be honest, I don't really want children in that playthrough anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I was gonna play RimWorld next week, but now I feel like I don't know what to do with the RimWorld. So yeah, no idea. Hope you get some good rest. Thank you so much, Dima. Wes is such a good boy. He's a very good boy. I love him. Thank you for the read, Luna. Go get some rest. Will do. There will definitely be a triangle strategy theme next week. As a stream theme? What the heck? It will be a triangle strategy stream and a Breath of the Wild stream. Still got to decide on RimWorld. I really don't know. Oh boy. Wow. Theoretically, you should be able to sterilize colonists to neuter them. Oh gosh. It's also mainly, if you're not going to have kids, it's also mainly going to have, space or technology, right? I don't think it really adds much to our medieval playthrough, so I might just keep it, and we keep on going. Yeah, don't know. Once we start getting challenging raids, I think it's gonna be very interesting. Poor Annette and Seth, they just want to have a nice happy family. No children allowed. You've heard of one child policy, now we have 0 child policy. Extra mouths to feed, I can't sustain that. I guess this is random, but I did some CSSing. For people who don't know, I used to do quite a bit of web coding and design, and so now the top part of the site actually looks like a webtoon app. Fuck. The about button doesn't work yet. I gotta figure out what to put there, but yeah. And I have to style this button too, but oh well. We'll do that later. Fancy. Yes. I guess I don't really have too much to talk about for now. It's just preparing for the convention, streaming in the meantime, working on Airlean Tales chapters. Yeah, I guess this is pretty calm. Why post on Webtoon when you can make your own BOGO Webtoon page? DIY Webtoon! I would like to post this on Webtoon if Webtoon did, what do you call it? If they did novels? I don't think they do though. I think they only do... Yeah, they only do webtoons. And I'm not drawing that much every week. I'm not built for that. Oh, right. I wanted to implement... You know, if I'm still feeling lost on RimWorld, maybe... I wanted to really test out a new audio system and give karaoke a try. I don't know. I'm so full of indecision. I've had to make so many decisions for like work and convention recently that just... Oh man. Honestly, I haven't had any time to practice singing, so my singing kinda sucks at the moment. Oh well. Could try to find a cartoonist for Webtoon. Honestly, how would I put it? I don't want to inflict a Webtoon artist with, oops, here we go. I don't want to inflict a Webtoon artist with these designs. They take so long to draw. Which I think is probably why a lot of Webtoons are not high fantasy. Because the designs are so... Okay, well, Wes is okay. Well, actually, no, Wes is not okay. You know why? Because the goggles are really, really annoying. And, everybody has, like, stupid detailed pauldrons and stuff like that. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. In addition, how would I put it? Webtoons are really cool. But in the end... I really like storytelling through prose and writing. I know that not a lot of people read anymore, which is kind of demoralizing. But at the same time, I love reading every night. Like, I power through so many books every year because I just like to read. Reading is just my jam. So, how would I put it? If I were to do an alternate medium for Airlean Tales, I wouldn't want it to be a webtoon or a visual novel. If I were to turn it into something else, I would want it to be a video game. Of course, that is its own can of worms, because as I have figured out firsthand, video game development takes so much money, so many resources, and you don't usually make anything while you're in development. So it usually requires you to do a full-time job while you're working on it. And that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. So yeah, I don't know. Dreaming big, it would be really cool to have either a 3D action RPG, like what Genshin should have been, or a 2D action game like Hades or Bastion by Supergiant Games. However, all of those things are just very resource intensive. So I think for now it's just going to be a book until some studio wants to buy it. Gotta sell like 1 million copies paperback and then pitch it to game studios. Am I right? Am I right? Is it finally time for Luna karaoke?
Oh man, how do I put this? I both really want to because it would be a great excuse to start practicing my singing, but I'm also a chicken. I'm like such a chicken, man. I'm such a chicken, especially at doing public activities, public speaking, singing, public singing. Gosh, I guess so. I have such bad stage fright. I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway. um, I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream here rather than just chatting. But I will see you guys next week. We will definitely have a Breath of the Wild and Triangle strategy, and we'll have another Airlean Tales reading. Back and forth on RimWorld. I'll let you guys know. And then who knows? Maybe this schedule will be up in the air because this one was totally a disaster and didn't do anything according to schedule. But yeah, okay. I will see you guys next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Get lots of rest, especially if you've been driving for 14 hours. That's it. On the bright side, it's only us you'd be singing to. That's true. You won't say anything mean to me because you're all nice. Bye-bye, Luna. Take care of yourself. Will do. I want to last for a long time, so I will definitely try to do so. Alright. I'll catch you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend.